Barbara's in charge. She might think I'm in charge.
Well, I always think you're in charge.
But I think she might think that. Are we doing a run through today? With this Sephardic. Yeah, Sephardic Torah. Yeah, that's what they do. So Sephardim do things so slightly different in the Torah service than Ashkenazi. So one of the things they do is their Torahs look like this, right? And they're big. You have to hold them like that. You know how we lift the Torah at the end? They do it at the beginning. They show it before the reading to everyone. And then they sit it on a flat table, and someone comes and reads like this. They don't put it like that, or they do it like that. So, and you're at the crossing of the sea, so look at that. Who's leading today? Okay, everyone's leading today. Fantastic. Are they meant to be up here?
So I told him, you're the master of Minhag here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could just call us to do what we need to do, they learned the bulletins.
Right, great. So in the Shabbat morning, I allow, I empower, I encourage folks to get out of their seats and greet each other, say Shabbat Shalom, and make sure they get coffee. Some people love that, some people hate that, they're all like herding cats. They will never pay attention again. They will not listen. If I say we're going to start now, they will not. They just will not do that, which is great. I love that they don't do that. When I first asked them to talk to each other, they said nothing. They just be like little Protestants that make me so afraid that I do anything. But now they're like out of control. So when we start the Torah service on the 168, we have to start like boom, start. And when they hear the singing, they stop talking, they start to move back to their seats. They're not going to sing the first part with you, but by the time we get to a few lines in, then they're back where they are and they're singing. So is this what we're doing? We're walking through the whole thing?
Yes.
Fantastic. So you folks will not be over there, right? You'll be up here. So let's come up here. I didn't know how we were going to do this.
We're going to just pretend.
We're going to pretend. Did you talk about this being a play?
No.
You have not talked about this being a play.
Oh, I did talk about how we're reenacting Sinai.
Cool. Yeah, there is some scholarship, and I was so pleased when Cantor Slater and I started to speak. Come around the shulchan. Come around the shulchan.
Table.
The table, the shulchan is the word for a reading table. And that doesn't, if you say come to the shulchan, it doesn't mean any table. It means the one where you read the Torah from. Word about our microphones. These are the best we've had so far since I've been here, and still not great. This one in particular is very sensitive. You have to treat her with a lot of respect, or him with a lot of respect. Meaning, you cannot move her, touch her, anything with her when she's on. Because she makes a very horrible noise if you do that. So right now she is off, and she's fine, and I can move her and move things like this, and she's fine. But if she were on, and I move her, bad stuff. So this one you can move even when it's on, but it's a good practice up here that if you want to move, you should feel empowered. If this is not where you want it to be, move it where you want it to be.
Turn it off.
It's better when it's off. It's a better practice, and we're getting better at it. It's taken us 6 months or something, but we're getting better. Remember, we had those things up before, and those were okay, but didn't reach all the way to people's faces, and they also they blocked, right, the view. Okay, so Torah service, what are we doing? Cantor Slater suggested to you that we are recreating Sinai, right?
And the first reading of the Torah
By Ezra.
the scribe.
Okay, so there's some scholarship that says no matter what we do in modern times, that this was meant to be a play. It's a drama. And the drama is meant to reenact Sinai, and that's probably what Ezra was trying to do in the temple. So think about Sinai. Where's God? The source is at the top of the mountain, right? Who's up there with God? Moshe. Moshe, good Shabbos, is up there with God. Who else is on the mountain?
Abraham?
Nope. So Joshua, who's going to be the next leader, is on halfway up the mountain, and a group of elders and chieftains one from every tribe. They're halfway up the mountain. Everyone else is surrounded around the bottom of the mountain. So the scroll becomes the source. It becomes God. The Torah reader gets the Torah straight from the source. That person plays the role of Moshe. Some people have aliyot and are gabayim, and they come up here around this little mountain, this one. They're like halfway up. Those become the elders and Joshua. And then everyone else surrounds the mountain and hears the word. It's meant to be a revelation over and over and over again. It doesn't always feel like that, right? When I was running my summer program, and I taught this to some 20-somethings, they developed ways every week to try to make it feel like that. So one week they had dry ice. So they came and they had like a bowl here no one could see, and then the Torah reader came, the first one, and then it went smoke came out, and then they had shills, like they had every other person knew what they were supposed to do, and so when they started to read, they were like, "Oh, God's voice!" Like they had a whole play. It was fun. But it's meant to be that. Okay, so I say, holy friends, we are going to begin today's Torah service on page 168. Who's ready for 168? Come on close, all the way to the table. You can put your books down, your pamphlets down. There's lots of room. I don't need to be here. Come on. Don't be afraid of the microphones. This one,
You turned it on too, whatever.
she's on.
So I can give you a start.
Yeah, we would give you a start. We would say, ready, 3, 2, 1.
Elohim Adonai, ve'en kemasecha, malchut, malchut. I'm going to stand in the middle. Umemshavtecha bechol dor Adon, Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch, le'olam va'ed, Adonai os le'amo yitei, Adonai barech et amo v'shalom, Acharachamim, heitiva v'ersoncha, et Zion, tibnei chomot Yerushalayim, tibnei chomot Yerushalayim, Hivrecha levad batachnu, melech Elram v'nisa, Adon. You sound so good. You hear yourselves? Jackie, come over here. All right here I say, we arise as the ark is opened. Okay.
And the ark would be opened. I'll go open it.
And this did get changed from the old one because it's got the t and not the s
Yeah.
in the.
Yeah,
so
oh, yeah, they
I
did
think-
change the card. We talked about Ashkenazic pronunciation.
Yeah.
So this has changed. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't believe in Ashkenazi pronunciation. I do I said that too.
It happened.
I said it really bad. Ashkenazic pronunciation is lovely if you have a personal connection to someone in your life that spoke Ashkenazi, then that is not in the realm of Jewish law or anything. That's about family legacy, and you should hold it, right? If it means something to you, you should hold it. But half the Jews in the world today speak in Sephardic Hebrew, and to purposely learn how to speak it wrong, like purposely learn how to say words that they would not understand you saying, to me doesn't make any sense.
So in rabbinical school, they are very fond of Ashkenazis.
No kidding.
Very, because it comes from the old school in Vilna and the yeshivot and something, and like there's a sound to being smart, and it's with Ashkenazis.
Oh, dear.
And which is fine if your grandfather was a rabbi or something, but if you're not, then why are you saying words that like regular Israelis wouldn't understand? Like speak Hebrew like it's Hebrew. So that's my personal rant. All right, look, so I'm going to say we stand now. We open the ark. We say, Vayehiven soha Aaron vayomer Moshe, that when the ark began to move, God said, get yourselves up, people, right? And take this Torah with you. I just want everyone to be really clear. Maybe Kent Slater already said this, but this line, Vayehiven soha Aaron vayomer Moshe, that line, do you know where it's from? Okay, I want you to imagine we're slaves 400 years in Egypt. Everyone we knew and everyone they knew and everyone they knew and everyone they knew were slaves for 400 years in Egypt. This weird cat comes called Moshe and says we should have freedom. We should have a very different existence, freedom, right? That's nuts. But we get it. We go for a week. We leave Egypt after all those plagues. We go for a week, we see a sea split. Amazing. We do that. We get to Sinai. God speaks. You taste colors, right? And hear flavors. Everything is crazy. But you experience God in a different way. And now we camp at that mountain for 2 years. We're camped at Mount Sinai for 2 years. We build a tabernacle. We get our tribe settled and how we're going to camp around. We got our whole community situated. And they say, now you have to leave the mountain. It's time to go. You got the Torah, right? And now you got to take that Torah. You can't stay at the mountain. You got to take the Torah. You got to take it out into that big, scary world without the protections of the mountain, not the protections of the clouds of glory, not the protection that God lives right up there on top. No, none of that. You got to take this Torah, and you got to take it out into the world and actualize it. That's what you got to do. That line comes from when they say, you got to leave. 2 years and 2 months, camping at this mountain, all the miracles, now freedom, and now responsibility. Right? So we repeat the same lines Moses says to the people there. Kuma Yisrael, ready? All right, ready? So go ahead. We're going to do 3, 2, 1. Oh, here, let's. Yeah, we're going to start there. So in the flow of the service, I would say, we rise as the ark is opened, right? And then you'll see where it says we rise as the ark is opened. Look, I'm very original in my language. Come on, Jackie, come on. You can put your book up here if you want. All right, ready? So we're at Vayehiven soha, and you got it? Okay, 168. 168 holy friends for the Torah service. Yes, 3 and 2.
Vayehiven soha Aaron, vayomer Moshe, Kuma Adonai, ve'afutzu oivecha, ve'yanusu mesanecha mipanecha, ki mitzion teisei Torah, ki mitzion teisei Torah, u'devar Adonai mirushalayim.
Rabbi, are we facing?
Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael. Candace Slater's asking, Big Dushato. Candace Slater's asking a question: do we face the ark or do we not face the ark? Here's a huge dilemma. Why would we face the ark when it's open like that?
To respect the Torah?
To respect the Torah, it's holy. Okay, where are the people? Behind you. Guess what? They're equally holy. Really, they're equally holy. So you might see that I have a minhag, like when the Torah goes around, I'll take my tzitzis, I touch the Torah and kiss it, and then I touch the person carrying the Torah and kiss it. If you get confused that that one is more holy than that one, or that one's less holy than that one, that's a problem. Judaism gets sick when we start doing that stuff. So, it is customary kind of to face the ark when it's open as a show of respect. But you have all these breathing Torahs right over here. In this what you'll see most of the time, depending on well, the right answer here is it depends. Some people must face the ark. They must. Or they didn't do it right or something. It's not true, but that's how they feel. It's fine. Most of the time, if you saw Jemmy or something come up, she's going to stay with the microphone. And she's doing that for two reasons. One, because of these breathing Torahs over here, but because of the camera. Because anytime I turn away from this microphone, the room can still hear me, kind of, but they can never hear me. And I think you know this, but we have almost every week, we have more people online than we do in the room. Almost every single week since COVID. So if you want to face that way, and you want them to hear you, then you have a choice to make. You can either go to that microphone right over there, which I'm trying to get rid of, but I'm not being successful getting rid of it. Or you could be mindful of my friend, and I could bring a microphone and face this way. I'm actually trying to get some of our regulars to use these microphones and just dive in right here, like that instead of at that, but they won't do it because that's from Sinai, and this is not from Sinai. That's why. Moses gave us this table, but not that table. I mean, that table, but not this table. This is how it works. That's how it works in Jewish life. Most of the time, you will see people continue to face there through Bikdusha Tov. Okay.
Okay.
So right. So let's do the Kimitzion. I would be up there with the ark opener. That's
We have Be'ana Rachid.
I know, but I want you to feel what it really feels like.
Okay.
So you guys are here leading. I'm up here with the Torah reader. So do Kimitzion from there. Kimitzion Teisei Torah. Kimitzion Teisei Torah. Udevar Adonai miYerushalayim. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah.
Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah Le'amo Yisrael B'Kedushato.
Right here I will say, please join with me in the English on 169. As I'm doing that, you make your way right up to the ark.
The whole flock.
Right? So I'm going to be talking. I'm going to say, Avinu Malkeinu, Master of Peace, bless us with peace. You're just making your way up here. And if you get here and you want to follow along, you can. When you get up here, this microphone is on. Just need to pull it forward. Right? You need to pull it forward. And then when I finish with the English reading, like I would say, may it lead me to wisdom, to holiness, to peace, and to you, God. Amen. We continue on the bottom paragraph of 170, which is Be'ana Rachid. So when you're up here, come all the way up. Come all the way up so that microphone can pick you up. Yeah. So we continue at the bottom paragraph of 107. 3, 2, 1.
Be'ana Rachid Ve'lishmei Kadisha Yakira Ana Imam Tushbehan Tiv libi ve'oraita ve'tashli mishalin de libi, veli bade kolama Israel, letavul chayin, veli shvam.
When we get here, usually you would look at me and you're like, which Torah should I take out? Which one? Which one? So just a little halacha around our Sifrei Torah. If we pick her up, we must use her.
And read it.
We have to use her. Usually read it, because that's how we use her, but sometimes I can't read it. I have to use her for something. Symbolically, I have to hold her and say a bracha, something. I got to do something if I pick her up. If I pick up the one that's not the one rolled to the right place, we might be rolling down there for like 12 minutes while people are waiting. So usually someone that's leading looks at me like, which one? And I say, oh, that one. So it's that one, right in front of Lilith. That's it. So let's take that one out.
And are these like really heavy? Because if you have to carry that one, that's...
So you will see that I've done a few things since I've been here. You might not have ever noticed, but you'll see now. You will see that the small Sifrei Torah are in the middle. You see all the giant ones are on the sides or the top. Because some of those weigh 40 pounds, 45 pounds. And then I put the crowns, and I put the breastplates, and I put put all that stuff on it, and then it's quite heavy. And so there's a safety thing about that, but there's also a way in which sometimes in Jewish life, like a certain type of person could handle the Torah and a certain type of person couldn't. So if I was a smaller person, male or female, but usually female, then they would say, no, you can't do it, because look, it's so heavy, right? So I try to get rid of that. I try to make it accessible to as many people as possible. And I don't put the breastplates on the ones we're going to use, not only because it's heavy, but because it's awkward. They fall down, they hit you, they hit people, they do all kinds of stuff like that. Any questions you have about any of those besides the weight?
Did you guys all watch the videos on the making of a Torah that I sent you?
All right, it's worth watching.
They're good.
But you will see a few things. You'll see a few things. Sifrei Torah are handwritten by a scribe. They take about 1 year to handwrite a Torah. They cost between $50,000 and $150,000 to write a Torah scroll.
Wow.
If you treat them really kindly, nicely, look after them, they will last 150, 200 years in usable condition. If they're well made and treated well, you will see that she's a she, the Torah is a she. I guess the Torah can be whatever she wants herself to be.
But the word Torah is feminine.
The word Torah is feminine, but you will see that she wears royal colors. She has all of the royal colors of the ancient world that were the most difficult and most expensive. So you see her in purple, in burgundies, blues, stuff
Those
like
are the
that.
colors in the passages about the tabernacle.
And also the priest's clothing, right?
Yeah.
The priest's clothing, because he's royal, and the tabernacle is royal, and the Torah is royal. You'll see a few other things. Only precious metals are meant to be used with the Sefer Torah, or natural elements, like wood is fine. But we wouldn't, it's funny, because some artists today have made things out of steel, or things like that, which typically could be used as a weapon, and we wouldn't typically use that, and then they're asking, but aren't I supposed to beat my weapons into plowshares or whatever, you know what I mean? All right, so we got all this. Yes?
What do you do when one is not good anymore?
Well, all of those on the top they're okay. They're good. They're not good to read from.
Okay.
So in the ark, right, in the ark that we just talked about when we have to move it and we have to walk through the desert carrying our Torah ark. So what was in the box of the ark?
Broken tablets.
So the whole tablets, the second set, and the first set, equally holy, right? Equally holy. You never lose your Kedusha. It's funny, we have stories about this, about like a matriarch or a patriarch or a Torah scholar or a secular scholar that loses their learning. They used to be wise and lead the Seder and do the whatever, and now they're not. And now what do? Well, they're in the ark right along with the good tablets. You're supposed to respect them in the same exact way as always. They become pasul. Pasul is the word that says I can't use it ritually, liturgically. I could use it for education. I
Okay.
can use it for L'Shem Chinuch. I could roll it out and show you letters, but I wouldn't use it on Shabbat morning. I will tell you that recently, one of these small ones, this one, I rolled it to a certain place in the Torah because on Hanukkah we had 3 Sifrei Torah. So, right, we're going to always read from the cycle, wherever we are in the cycle. If there is another thing happening, we're going to take a second Torah scroll for that thing. So like Rosh Chodesh, it's a new month. There's a reading, we read about Rosh Chodesh. If there's any holiday, we read about that holiday. On some occasions, what will happen like it did this year on Hanukkah, is we had Shabbat, Rosh Chodesh, and Hanukkah. So I have 3 different scrolls because they're rolled to the right place, so I don't have to do the thing, like I don't have to go rolling up the Torah. I don't have to do that. One interesting principle that I really have come to love is when we take out multiple Sifrei Torah, the answer is what order do we use them? Which order do I pick them up from? Our people are neurotic. We ask like every single thing. How do we do it? How do we do this? So the rabbis give us a principle to use. It's called tadir ve'eno tadir, tadir kodem. So tadir is the most common thing. So if I have something that is common, that's tadir. Ve'eno tadir, something that's not common, the tadir is kodem. The most common thing comes first. So so with the cycle of the Torah reading, the month, the new month, and Hanukkah, what's the most common?
Shabbat.
The cycle for Shabbat. What's the next most common? Rosh Chodesh, because it's every month. And then the next is Hanukkah.
Whatever holiday.
I think most of us have a tendency to elevate the less normal thing, right? We would say, oh, Hanukkah comes once a year. Let's do that one, right? And I think there's something profoundly spiritual in like maintaining or continuing to train ourselves to see every Shabbos as much joy or special as that Hanukkah. It's hard to do, right? Because we get it in a routine and it seems like the same thing every time. But it's meant to feel like we're bringing God from the mountain to the people. That's what you're doing. Like, that's a big deal. Like, can you imagine being Moses on the top and going to bring this down to the people? That's what you just did. That's the words that you just said. That's what you're doing. That should be like, wow. It should be like, wow. And it's hard to not treat that as rote, right? So the rabbis give us this principle. Which one first? Some people get really particular about it. I will never get really particular about it, but some people get really particular about it. Like, you may only touch that one first, and that one second, and that one third. They have to walk in a certain order. They can never be out of order. But let me tell you, Jewish people do not listen. If you tell them you must go first and you go second, they're just going to do whatever they do, no matter what, right? Unless you really care about that stuff. All right, so we got to here. You got the Torah out. Somebody will be here to close the Torah. Somebody, one of you, because you're close to this microphone, need to get rid of that microphone. So you're going to push it back up, and again, if not, the curtain gets hit, and then it goes. And that's what it does.
I have a question,
Yes.
Rabbi. Is there a preference for carrying it on your left shoulder or your right shoulder?
Yeah, there is, and
it the right-
in the Shulchan Aruch it says it's supposed to be on my right side, but here's also a problem because we're Jewish. What does right mean? What does right mean? Right could mean right.
Correct.
It could be the correct side. It could be your dominant arm. Like on a very practical way, your strongest arm, put it on that shoulder, right on that shoulder. But that's never good enough for the rabbis. Never practical answers. Like, there might be a practical answer, and probably there was, but they're never going to say that. They're going to say, my left hand is mercy, my right hand is judgment. When I take the Torah out, I may need some mercy, but I come at it serious. Like, I come at it serious. That's how I do it. And some people will get very particular about this too. You'll see that they might rush up to you, like if those had it like that, they might rush up to her and like move it. Yeah,
Oh my
they
gosh.
might. They might. They mean well. They don't do well, but they mean well. They mean well.
I thought I was supposed to keep her next to me.
In the ancient world, exactly right. A practical answer would be that. But even then, in that situation, so Ingrid was saying, In the ancient world, one hand was your clean hand, and one hand was your working hand. So when I had to do my bathroom things or my work thing, I would use that hand, but when I was gonna eat, I would use my clean hand. That's how I kind of stayed more healthy, right?
Some travel is hard if you're left-handed.
But the same way, well, does it mean right or does it mean dominant? By the way, I took a class on this in New York City a couple of years ago. I took 3 days on handedness,
Oh, my God.
which all the rabbinic sources about handedness, which I didn't know what we were doing, like why are we doing this? It was actually pretty interesting. It was about, like, I'm supposed to put on tefillin like this. I'm supposed to pick up a cup to wash my hands like this. I'm supposed to put the Torah on the right, all of that stuff, right? And then what does it mean, right? Does it mean right or does it mean something else? So after 3 days of this, of doing handedness and seeing the rabbinic responses to that, we learned that some of the rabbis say right means right, like the right-hand side. Yamin. It means yamin, that's it, you put it on the right. It doesn't mean strong, it doesn't mean powerful, it doesn't mean clean, it doesn't mean correct, it means right. That says right, that means right. It never stops us so that it says this and we say it means something else. So, and then others will say, well, what if I'm left-handed and I need to put on my tefillin? How do I even do it? Like, I would have to use, like, try to write with your wrong hand, with your non-dominant writing hand, and it will be hard. Like, why would it make it hard for people? And they say, oh yeah, I feel really bad for you, but too bad. Just do it the right way. Just do it, right?
In the Torah, it says Yamina. It says specifically the right side.
No, in the Shulchan Aruch.
Or in the Shulchan Aruch.
It says, in the law books, it says, the Torah says nothing about doing this.
Oh, okay, the
No,
Torah
we doesn't say, it doesn't say that.
Okay, that makes sense, I guess.
So, and then what some of the rabbis say about right means dominant. It means dominant, right? It doesn't mean right hand. It just means your dominant hand. So if I was a left-handed person, it means left. Right means left. Clearly, right means left. You see how this conversation gets nutty? There's about 100 rabbis in this class, it's like that's what you do to go on rabbinic vacation. Go to New York City and study Talmud with a bunch of other rabbis and nerd out. But after about 3 days of this, the teacher, who's a brilliant halachic teacher, named Ethan Tucker, said, at any one point in time, 10% of the population is left-handed. They didn't pick it; they're just left-handed, right?
Are you left-handed?
And they're left-handed, and the world would say to Jackie, "Too bad," and to Ingrid, "Too bad. Just do it with your right hand." Or they would say, "That sucks, but do it with your right hand." Or they would say, "That's difficult. Let's see what accommodations we can make." Or they would say, "Just do it with your left hand." Like, whatever, right? That's what they would say. So he did all that, and then he said about 10% of our population at any one time doesn't cleanly fit into gender roles. It's not their choice, and they're just made like this, and this is just how it works. And then what are community responses to right? Too bad, fit in, fake it. I feel bad for you, but fake it. Or, of course, there's room for you, right? And he's showing that kind of stuff goes all the way back to what shoulder you hold it on. See, you shouldn't let me talk. It's too much. All right, so you have it. You push the microphone up. If you don't do any of those things, don't worry. We're always here to help. This gets closed. We turn and face the congregation.
We have the Shema.
We're at Shema.
Where's the microphone to use?
No microphone for this one. This one you have to project.
So we need the Torah.
It's a call and response. So we say it, and then the congregation says it back to us, which is only Steve. So me and Steve will say it back to you. So the same thing, 3, 2, 1. me and Jimmy, this is a march. This song is a march. So we actually march. We look at each other, so we say, Let Adonai Hagidura V'Hagidura Tiferet V'Hanetzach V'Hahod V'Hor Hashamayim V'Haaretz Hashamayim V'Haaretz Adonai Halacha V'Amin Na'aseh L'Kol Rosh
So we have two tunes.
Yeah, that's not the one that most folks do, but that's a lovely tune.
Okay, so it's the responsive one.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's yeah, we worked on that. There's a place where the echo gets mixed up because, so we worked on that. So, here, let me
Because we're not singers.
from the moon, from the moon, from the moon,
Adonai Eloheinu, V'yishtachavu, V'yishtachavu, Raglav Kadoshu, Romehu, Romehu, Adonai Eloheinu, V'yishtachavu, V'yishtachavu, Le'harkosho, Le'harkadosh, Ra, 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 Yahweh. I hear what you're saying with the repetition. I'm gonna guess, I'm right, but I'm gonna guess we don't repeat on the Yishtachavus. I don't think we do.
It's because
No,
because
I
they
was
have to,
listening
the echo has to step on the,
Yeah,
It's too
I
quick.
don't think we
you
do.
know,
But it
I
doesn't.
noticed on this past
yeah,
Shabbat
Shabbat,
that it wasn't
Yeah, it's,
echoed, it was like it was
it was
just
repeated.
repeated, the
Yeah.
full
Oh,
thing,
okay.
it wasn't
Yeah.
overlapped.
yeah,
Not-
it was no
Amazing.
overlap.
okay.
And then if you're at a shul, other shuls, like those are pretty common, those two. Most shuls you hear one of those two, but there are many others actually. And they will be like, what are these people doing?
Okay,
These weird
okay.
people. Like what do we do in my own shul? Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'hakodsho. That's what we did.
It's by,
We didn't do all those words.
That's by Danny Moss.
Because most people can't sing all those lecha Adonai, they can't sing all that, so we would just do something people could sing.
That's a tune by.
Most folks, by the way, most shuls, I think we're the only shul that does this. We don't do a procession at the beginning. Why don't we do it?
Because people aren't here yet.
It takes a while.
You dropped it.
To save time. So I dropped it. I did drop it. I will tell you why I dropped it. I dropped it because when I got here, we were doing 3.5-hour morning services. That is too much. I can't even stand myself in 3.5 hours. I don't want to hear me anymore. I think it's difficult for most folks. Right?
There's a principle to not burden the congregation.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I taught on my ritual committee about tircha. Tircha is a burden. And I'm not supposed to give the folks tircha. I'm not supposed to do that. Like, for instance, if Yom Kippur is over at 7:52, I should be sure that my service is over at 7:52, so you don't have to fast any extra minutes, because that's called tircha. I'm not supposed to do that, right? So when I first came, we were towards the end, and they were like, but there's this other service, and I'm like, I know, we can do that until 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, no, we're ending now, because I'm not going to make people fast. It's funny, like all the things that happen, that you don't know why they happen, but they happen. But I'm also very appreciative that you're watching and listening. We don't really repeat. We don't really do that.
Okay.
All right, we got the Torah here. What you'll see is exactly what Lilith did. We bring it straight to the table. Some people sing, some people don't. Some people sit, some people don't. We put it down. There's a cover for her that is somewhere right here. It's right here. It's right here. This one.
Okay.
This one.
It's called a Ben Gavra.
I don't even know that, but I'll believe you.
It's
Ben Gavra.
So Gever is Mr.
It's,
So I think Ben Gavra means between the readers.
oh, there you go.
So
Bang.
you're supposed to cover, it doesn't, you would cover it when the
So-
mantle is off.
So, would you have the king laying around naked?
No.
Or the queen? She's royal. We just went into the inner sanction, walked her out. Would you just have her laying around? No, you wouldn't. You would make sure that she was modest, like all those things like that. People get really nervous about that stuff too.
So you put it over the mantle?
No,
Mantle-
no, this
oh, you-
actually
okay.
goes, so
Put
you
that
put it, it goes on that, little metal thing next to the,
The metal thing?
like, to the right of the microphone.
Oh, here?
Keep
here.
going, yeah, it's usually like that, it's usually somewhere over there. This is a belt, it's called a belt. It's called a chagura, it's called a chagura, that stays
What I was
usually,
saying here.
that stays usually, one of the things that I'm not great at, well, I don't know if I'm not great at it. One of the things I haven't been forceful about is, does every person that comes up to the Torah have to wear a talit? Right? And it depends on which phase of feminism you believe in. Like there is some parts of feminist thought that say that we, in order for us to be equal, we have to be the same. And there are some parts that suggest that that's not the case. We just need equal responsibilities and opportunities, right? So women in Jewish law have no obligation to wear a talit, but a man does when they come to the Torah. A man does. So I could say we'll be equal, so that everyone wears a talis, and that makes us equal. And some of the women in the shul are very mad at me because I won't say that. Or I could say women don't have an obligation to wear a talis, and so they could create what they want. Like I don't need to tell them what to do. They'll create it. So if you come up and you're not wearing a talis, which you see that some women do,
For an aliyah.
for an aliyah, this stays because when they touch the Torah, we try not to touch it with our fingers. By the way, if I touched it with my fingers, would anything bad happen? No, nothing bad. Like no spiritual thing, you won't get zapped, none of that. None of that will happen. What will happen is just the oils in my fingers wear out the ink and the scroll. So we just try it. Like I told you, if we care for her really carefully, then she'll last a long time. She'll last a long
Another thing I wanted to mention, because I've run into a lot of people who don't know this, is when the Torah is open, don't touch the letters or scrub the letters. I've seen a rabbi who will remain nameless put his prayer book down on the open Torah and then give it a kick and slit it across the letters. The ink is fragile.
So the ink is actually amazing. The ink in a Torah scroll, it's like made up. The stuff some of the stuff is like out of
It's an
like
ancient-
Narnia or something,
Ancient
right?
recipe.
Well, it is an ancient recipe. It is a certain insect, hornet, a bee, or something
It's a wasp
that
gall.
stabs a certain tree in Israel,
Oak.
and then it gets a cyst, a gall. It gets a cyst on the thing because it rejects the ink of that, the sting of that bee, and then that ink is the blackest of black ink. It doesn't fade. It doesn't fade. This is parchment, right? It's made out of an animal, and it doesn't absorb into the parchment. It actually floats on it. So in theory, what Barbara's talking about, when you could, in theory, scrape off the letters. I mean, not in theory. When somebody comes to fix a Torah scroll, they bring a little super thin razor blade and they scrape the letters off and they rewrite them. Because they're not in the paper, they're on the paper.
It's like nail polish. Like you can pick off your
Yeah,
nail
that's a
polish.
good,
And the ink there, on photocopies, like if you try to erase a photocopy ink, it's sunk into the paper.
Right.
It's part of, you'll make a hole in
yeah,
the paper.
that's right.
But it's sitting on top like nail polish. And as it gets older, it gets brittle.
Yeah, and you can scrape it off.
But aren't most of these Torahs rescues from World War II?
Well, I would guess most of our secret Torah are, they came when the families came. So the wealthy families came and you would commission or have or rescue a Torah. Have you seen our baby Torah? The little one that's like this big, that one's my favorite. I don't know if it's in here now or if it's downstairs.
I think it's downstairs.
But it's this big,
It's the one we
and it is a kosher Torah scroll, handwritten. Same, it's just tiny. Why would anyone have a Torah scroll this
The
big?
children could carry it. Or you
you
could
can
travel.
run with
You
it.
could travel.
You can put it in your backpack and go. What am I supposed to do with that giant thing? Like those things got left, right? Those things got left. So when I do like B'nai Mitzvah out of town now, I just put that little Torah in my backpack and I go on the plane and I bring it the Torah, right?
The other place
so
tours
tiny.
come from and add to a collection like this is when congregations combine
Yeah.
or close.
And we've done that.
Then they need to
What do you do?
get their Torah to new congregations.
So we actually, in addition to the ones we have here and in the Ark in the chapel and in the Ark downstairs, we actually have 5 Sefer Torah on loan. We have 5. One is in Salem,
Oh, yeah, on loan out.
out, yeah, that people have them. One is in Salem. One is in France.
Ooh,
One is in France where we found a community of someone that grew up at this shul that started a non-Orthodox minyan and school in France. They didn't have a Sefer Torah. And so I had the ones that were not kosher. So I gave him one of those ones that were not kosher, and he got,
Why are there ones that aren't kosher?
well, what?
the letters have fallen off.
Oh.
The Torah scroll could become unkosher for a few reasons. I could find a mistake. By the way, I've found mistakes. Like you're reading and you're like, that's not what the Torah says. It is what that scroll says, but it's not what the Torah says, right? And you're like, oh, so there's a word missing or something, or spelling wrong.
Or letters, wrong letter or something.
For the Torah to be kosher to use, every letter has to be independently, every letter has to be kosher. Every letter must be fully black. Every letter must stand on its own. It cannot lean on its friend. It cannot touch its friend. It has to stand on its own. Every letter except one in the Torah, which is purposely broken. But I can show it to you. But, so if for whatever reason we found one, the other thing that could happen is like the one that I found up there that I said that I took one out and I rolled it. So the seam, we write these on pieces of parchment. But the seam right here is sewn together with the sinew of the animal, right, the ligament of the animal. So you can see on the backside, you can see that this thing right here is not string, it's part of the animal. Well, what happened, these break sometimes. So the one I took out over there to read on Hanukkah, I opened it up to the right place. It was right on the seam, and the only thing attached was here and here. So the whole thing, could you imagine if I lifted it? It would have just been like the wind. You're like, oh, okay. That's the most reason. The Baal Shem Tov has a really beautiful teaching that he does some very rabbi things where he says 603,550 Jews left Sinai to go to freedom, to enter into a covenant with God and to get freedom. He says there's 603,550 letters in the Torah scroll. It's not true, but it's a nice teaching. And then he says, and if any one of us weren't able to really stand on our own, then the whole thing isn't whole, right? Then the whole thing is not kosher to use anymore. And so what are you worth? The whole thing. Right? Without you, none of us can do anything. Right? We have
That's
to
how
have you.
important we are, that's
Yeah.
amazing. How did you get the Torah to France? Did someone take it over to France? How do you transport a Torah across the ocean?
Take it and carry on. Yeah.
But a person
It's like
does, they
infinite
can't
love,
ship it.
you know?
No, you could ship it.
You can ship a Torah?
You would just be careful with her. This particular person took some foam thing, like a block, a foam block, and then put the holes for this, and then carried it on in a duffel bag. You know, you never know what's in the duffel bag. All right, this is a long way to say. All right, so we made it here in a normal Shabbat service, and I'm contemplating changing this, but in a normal Shabbat service, I talk right now. So once the Torah gets down, it's here, we've sung the song, and then I say, have a seat, welcome everybody, and then I do my little Torah discussion. At some point, I will say, we begin our Torah service on page blah, blah, blah.
Okay, and then it's time to call up
To call the,
Olim.
some people call, the Gabbai Rishon calls up people. You've seen, I'm really happy to teach anyone that after you do this. By the way, you sound so good singing.
Okay.
You should be really proud, like it sounds really good. It's only been like a minute, you sound so
It's been a few weeks.
That's a minute, 3 weeks. So, all right, what will be helpful here?
So we would like to practice the Torah blessings.
Okay, great. So, who wants to be my Torah reader? Who's gonna be my pretend Torah reader? Ingrid is. Thank you, Ingrid. There you go. There you go, Ingrid. Ingrid, you're very confident. I know you are. You're very confident, and you know exactly where we're gonna start in the Torah reading. And so, the Torah reader's job is to know where they're gonna start.
When you learn to read
So,
Torah,
just
you'll
point
know
to where you're gonna start. Exactly, we're starting right there. She knows.
So we would have this open somewhere to.
Yeah, but this is
There's
for,
a card.
this
There's
is
a
for
card
people to follow along. I mean, the Torah reader should be very confident about where they're starting. If the Torah reader finds her spot, and then closes the Torah, and then loses her spot, and then opens the Torah, and has to find her spot again, that's called tircha. That's called a burden. You're not allowed to burden the population. And so most Jews do the Torah reading halakhically wrong. I will just tell you, they do it wrong, and they're very serious about doing it wrong. So let's say we're starting,
See the finger?
Okay.
finger
And then
points
you don't
kinda
want
down.
to touch the letters.
Yeah.
You can touch the margin. See all the white space? So it's okay to touch the margin with the pointer, the
Like
white
physically
space,
touch it, you could go.
but not the words.
Yeah, you can do that. And then when you're going, you just kind of hover over the
Yeah.
Okay, so you notice a couple things. Mostly it's full justified, right? Fully justified. Like it starts on this side and ends on this side of the line, except when it's not, like that thing right there. That thing right there is called a patucha. It's called an opening. Yeah, a patucha, like is the delit. Patuach is your door open. Patuach, not a tapuach, that's an apple. Patuach is open. You see this one where there's a space right here?
Should I be using my right hand and
Any
hold
hand,
here?
any hand,
Does it,
any hand you want.
left-handed?
You're left-handed, you use your dominant hand. Or you see this little one right here, where there's a space with no writing?
Yeah.
That's called a stuma, it's called a closing. Anytime that the writing doesn't go all the way into the line, it's either an opening like that or a closing like that. Why is that important?
Is that like the beginning of another
Sometimes,
sentence?
sometimes. Why is it important? It's the only way I know how to find my way around the Torah. Seriously, the
It's
only
almost, almost
way.
like the spaces make a picture. And you recognize the pattern.
meaning, like-
And they look the same in the book that we practice with.
Meaning, when I look in my Etz Chaim, this one's better for it than the blue one, but I look in my Etz Chaim and I say, where are we? We're at the beginning of Exodus. Oh, let's find the beginning of Exodus and start there. This one should be at Exodus. Oh, there it is. You see three lines where no writing?
Yeah.
That's the break between books. So we just finished Genesis. And we'll start Exodus.
Can you point to it?
Yeah.
That big white space is
So you see.
The end of a book.
beginning of something else.
It's the end of a
So
book.
you see, this is the end of Genesis, and that's the beginning of Exodus. Okay, so you see, if I needed to find something, if it's the beginning of a book, easy. I know, I just look for this big space, I find it. But sometimes later on, like let's look, I'm in Genesis, I'm in Exodus 4 or something. Let's see, I'm in 3, I'm just looking. Oh, so here, at the end of chapter 2, there's a stuma that says Elohim. See this little samech in this book? You see this little samech? It's a stuma that says Elohim. So what am I looking for in the columns? A little gap with words,
On both
right?
ends.
So, okay, find me a gap where the last word is Elohim. Well, you see a gap?
Right here.
Yeah, that's it. That's how I know how to find Exodus 4. That's how I find it, with that samech for those pays. That's how I navigate
And this
myself
book will
around the
be
Torah.
right next to the Torah scroll, and this book has all the vowel points.
Yeah.
So I've seen people,
And the
if they don't
And it's
know the
so
reading
big
from
you can
here, you
see
can read
it.
it from
Yes,
here.
I can see.
Or you can bring your photocopy.
All right. Ingrid is our Torah reader, our stand-in Torah reader. She's going to start with Eli Shemot B'nai Yisrael. The Gabbai will call you up to the Torah, call up someone to the
pass
Torah.
the,
So they say, Yazor v'yagin v'yashir l'chol ha'chizim b'olam v'lamen ha'kol ha'kol Torah. Tim up again. Oh, ta'amod, ya'amod, na la'amod.
All the class.
Please rise.
Come up.
When you have the aliyah, you come up. You either hand them the card if you have a card here. I don't know how we got those cards. Somebody just
It's an
started
old
it.
thing.
It's a nice
It's
thing, I
an
guess.
old thing.
Or you tell them your name. They're gonna, if you come up for your aliyah, they will just stare at you usually. They don't know how to communicate always, Gabayim. So they might just look at you, like, cause you're supposed to know that you're supposed to tell them their name. Usually our folks are pretty good at being kind and welcoming and say, "Can you tell me your name?" or something. But sometimes they don't. They just look at you. They just look at you because you're supposed to know. Okay. So you tell them their name. They say your name. They say, "What's your name?"
Shira Naomi,
Shira Naomi Bat, the daughter of who?
Sarah,
Sarah le Aliyah, the third Aliyah, fourth Aliyah, fifth Aliyah, sixth Aliyah, whatever.
And you come up.
Okay, so now Ingrid, after I've said the name and I've said something, she's the Torah reader. She's going to just be standing there pointing. Some Torah readers are very nice and they say, "Oh, touch right here." They'll remind you, "Oh, touch it." Some Torah readers don't do anything. They just stand there pointing. That's all they do, and they're waiting for you, and they think you're supposed to know. They think you're supposed to know, and sometimes you know, and sometimes you don't. Okay, so but we're pretty nice here. Like touch and kiss, touch and kiss. Let's clean up.
Your fringes, that's mine.
Oh, if you have a talis,
yeah,
you can use your tzitzit to touch and kiss, but some women don't wear talis, so they'll use this. They'll use the haguvah.
What do you call it?
The belt, the haguvah.
Gargle?
Yeah.
Oh, gargle's Yiddish.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same. All right, so let's move this. So now, after you've touched and kissed, oh, wait, in our shul, thank you for reminding me, I saw it on your face. In our shul, they ask if you would like to dedicate your aliyah.
Oh.
So then they say, would you like to dedicate your aliyah? The dedications are amazing, I love them, and not everyone loves them, just so you know. Yeah, they don't. Almost every month, somebody says, get rid of those. So it's okay. They're meant to be in honor. I dedicate my aliyah in honor of someone or something, or in memory of someone or something. Sometimes you get like a speech, and that's when they don't love it. Right? That's when they don't love it. But it's okay. I implemented them because post-pandemic, the pandemic did a lot of weird things to us. But post-pandemic, the folks that started to come back, they just don't know each other. We don't know each other's stories. We don't know each other's families. We don't know where we came from. We don't know each other. So it's a chance to actually hear something. My father was this or something, and all those little bits, whether we like it or not, helps us connect. Yes. Yeah. So you're going to dedicate your aliyah. You're going to, the Torah reader will be standing there waiting. Ingrid will be very nice and say touch and kiss.
You'll be the congregation, right?
Yeah, I'll be the congregation.
He'll respond.
You touch and kiss, and then they're going to, and then if I'm the gabbai, I usually point for you.
There's a card here.
Yeah.
Is there another card down here to hand
Nope.
it?
No,
That's
you just
it.
said-
Okay. So, and notice that you're standing to the right of the Torah when you have an aliyah, unless there's a whole bunch of us.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out before your service. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMorah.
Baruch Adonai Haborach le'olam va'ed.
We're all saying the blessings, okay? So let's start over. So we are all,
we're up here.
8 of us.
He's
He's the congregation. Okay, so we will say, because we're having an aliyah, although we'll probably do it separately or something. Anyway. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMorah.
Baruch Adonai Haborach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMorah le'olam va'ed.
Can you repeat that line?
Oh, man, okay, this would be really cool if you'd redo this with the repeat printed here,
Like the one in the.
like in here. It's really helpful. I bet you could do that.
I'll print it. I'll
Would you?
print that one.
That would be great.
Print a big one.
It happens in every shul. People who are inexperienced don't know what to repeat.
I know, and when I'm the gabbai, I'm up there, I'm like, repeat. I'm always saying, and they still don't repeat.
It's, they need to see it, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna start over. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMorah.
Baruch Adonai Haborach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMorah le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amin v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
it's gonna
reading.
read, Amen. Ele shamot b'nei Yisrael abayim Mitzrayma Ed Yaakov ish uveito ba'u Reuven Shimon Levi Yehuda Yisachar Zvulun uVinyamin Dan v'Naftali Gad ve'asher yeh kol nafshei Yatsu something yadecha Yaakov shivim nafshei Yananana
And a kiss again.
Touch and kiss.
Touch and kiss.
Torah reader points. We finished right there. That's what they do. They point to where they
Kiss and,
finished.
yeah, okay. And then with closing blessing,
Now we close the Torah.
just roll it shut.
Just roll her shut.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah temet v'chayei olam neta b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yes.
You guys are so good.
Aren't they great?
Yeah, how are you feeling about all that?
Good about that.
Do you know what you're saying?
Yeah.
What's Baruch et Adonai Hambarach? What's that?
Blessed.
It's like this. Hey, let's bless God. You're actually not talking to the Torah. You're not talking to God. You're talking to them. Hey, let's bless God. And
Bless God.
Guess what they say? Bless God forever and ever. And then you say, let's bless God forever and ever. That's the whole beginning part. That's the part we do at the Baruch Hu and we turn in praise. Hey, let's bless God. Hey, friend, who wants to bless God? I had a friend in rabbinical school, this guy Adam. He was so nerdy. He was unbelievably he's super smart, the most nerdy guy. But he would do Baruch Hu like that. He would say, Baruch Hu! Right? And then which means let's bless. Right? And that's how he would really do it. It was like the most ridiculous thing. But he was actually trying to capture the spirit of what it is. Right?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Okay, so
questions
now the
or
Torah-
comments or concerns up to here?
And then
Now the
after
Torah is
that,
lifted.
the honoree comes over here and the next one comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says,
always
now
need to bring that
rise, Gloria, blah, 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 blah. Gabriela, okay.
And then you read the next
So then
passage.
the person who was standing to the right side of the Torah, which is the honor side, it's the right side, comes around to the left side and witnesses the next Aliyah because they're reluctant to leave the presence of the Torah.
How would you leave the presence of the queen?
You wouldn't want to leave.
You wouldn't want to
So you
just
hang
run
out
out.
over there,
Yes, you did.
and then when the next Aliyah comes up, Oleh comes up, then you move to your seat.
So, and it's meant to be, we try, and most people kind of got it by now, it didn't used to kind of work like this, but that the person here that is, you know, they've had their aliyah, now they're here. Now a whole reading happens. That person's meant to wait for you. So when you move around, they wish you a good Shabbos. They say Mazel Tov, they say whatever,
Kol
thank you for-
hakavod,
whatever,
something.
and then they go, and then you take the spot, and then you wait for the next one to come, and you shake their hand, and you do the
Yeah.
thing.
So the Torah is really accompanied
Always.
all the time.
Yeah. Well, all right, we're moving with her.
Yeah, yeah.
Taking her.
Do we have any, like, formalized minhag around the people on either side holding the handles for the reader? Because, like, I intrinsically grab it because I notice the person
rolling.
reading is like,
You're supposed to
Having
grab and
roll it
lift
on.
the right handle.
Well, we'll talk about that in 1 second. This is right, that the Torah can be squirrely. Like she doesn't like staying open all the time, or she twists sideways, especially at the beginning and the end. So often what will happen is the gabbai or the reader will tell you, hey, grab on. And so you hold her open. Like the gabbai there will hold, and this person will hold, and then they don't, the reader doesn't have to worry about physically
with their
holding the
elbow.
Torah open. Like you said, the rabbi that slid the book was probably to hold it open. Right, like you, because it'll close, she'll close all by herself.
Yeah,
right? So
because
you wanna
the
hold it.
parchment gets a
But yes, you
curl
should,
in it.
so
know?
you should be, listen, you should feel, I would want you to feel, hope that you feel, pray that you feel empowered to do touch anything here. It's okay, like nothing's gonna happen. And if somebody looked at you funny, that's about them. That's not about you, that's about them. It's okay. So you can grab a hold. I will tell you, being up here so many times, people have so many customs of what they do when they come here. And they will all swear to me that they're halacha. They're not, but they will swear to me, if you don't do it like this, you're wrong, you're bad, right? So for instance, when Ingrid was playing the role of the Torah reader, remember what I said what the Torah reader's role is when the Torah is open? So when the Torah is open, someone is meant to have kavanah. You know that word kavanah? Someone is supposed to have intention that this is the Torah scroll. This is the source. This is the top of the mountain. These letters are holy. Every second that she's open, so look, we have a lot of things to do. Call somebody up, point over here, help you remember to do that, right? Somebody. The reader is supposed to just be like, this is where I'm starting, and hold kavanah on the text. Okay. When halachically, even though this doesn't happen most of the time, this text should not be closed until the reading is over. But many people will come for this aliyah and they reach for the handles, they close it themselves, they do whatever, then the reader has to open and find the new spot. I would guess half the Jewish world does it like that, even though it's halakhically.
Is it like taking
improper.
hold of the Torah yourself?
Yeah,
like
so,
lifting it yourself, kind
Yeah,
of like it's
so
yours?
what I share, and I shared with Lilith before, is notice in the blessing, I want you just to notice a couple of things. It says, so, hey God, hey, let's bless God, hey, let's bless God forever and ever, hey, let's bless God forever and ever. Blessed are you, God, master of space and time, the one that controls in time, out of time, before anything in the universe, that chose us from amongst all the people and gave us this Torah. So Natan here, the Natan is to give. Like Natan Meir, his name is gift. Isn't that nice, right? Yeah, his father was Natan, a gift, right? So this is give. It's a past tense verb. You gave us the Torah a long time ago. You gave it to us, right? And then it says, Baruch atah Adonai, blessed are you, God, noten ha-Torah. This is a present tense verb.
You give us.
So you gave it to our people a long, long time ago, and you give it to us every time we are willing to accept her. So what you'll see some people do is on either one of these Natan or Noten, they will actually take the scroll handle and the Etz Chaim, and they will lift it up. Not because, not just you give me this Torah, but one of the funny things about the gift of Torah is God can give it all God wants. That doesn't mean any Jew will take it. So like you're symbolically saying you gave it to our people a long time ago, you're giving it to me right now, and I take it, and I'm entering, I'm present and responsible and accountable and blessed by it, and challenged by it, and all the things I am. But I'm not gonna. You're gonna give it. I'm gonna take it, right? I'm gonna take it. So you'll see people do that, and you'll see people close it to do it, and some people are very serious that if you don't do that and you do that, then it didn't happen. But it's okay. So just so you know, halachically, we open. The reader is supposed to hold intention on the text. In our case, it's usually the Gabbai Sheni that holds the second Gabbai that holds intention on the text. They'll show you where to kiss. We don't close it. You take your, so if you're the one making the aliyah, you take your left hand, because it's the hand closest to it, and then you say the bracha, and then you lift it, and then the reader will read.
If you touch the Torah with your talus,
Yeah.
you kiss it after, or you kiss it before?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I learned, a friend of mine did some research on what the kissing of where the fringe is about, or the girdle, and learned that it was a way, in long ago times, before everybody could read and write, it was a way a person without reading and writing skills could sign a document by touching it with the corner of his garment, because everybody had something on for clothing. And so they would take the corner of the garment and touch it and kiss it, and that meant I signed, I agree with this.
But it really doesn't matter halakhically which way you do it?
So okay. So when we say, why do we do something, we do. So almost always, like 99% of the time, always, we were doing something, and then we made up the reason why we do it. It's not like we thought up a good idea and then we figured out how to do it. That's not right, right? That's not right. In halakha, if I'm doing a mitzvah, and they think coming to the Torah is a mitzvah, if I'm doing a mitzvah, the rule is do what you say. It's a pretty good rule in life in general.
Say it first.
Yeah, say something, do something,
Oh.
Right.
Say something, do something. I said I'm gonna do this thing, I did this thing. That's what it's supposed to be.
So you read
With the
this,
Torah reading, which is not in the Torah, right, the Torah reading, but with the Torah reading, how do we get to this business of splitting it up into 7 things with aliyot and whatever, and we say all these blessings over and over and over and over and over again, right? Everybody's saying the same blessings. Halachically, it is not clear at all that we should be doing this. At all. Our rabbis argue about it. They say, in fact, I should say a blessing when I start the reading, and I should say a blessing when I end the reading. Wouldn't that make sense? Wouldn't someone just read? So, if we're coming up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, where all these people are coming up, they need to say something and do something. What are they going to do? What do?
Kiss the Torah.
They kiss the Torah. You see what they do? They give them something to do. They give them something to do. And then, of course, we layer on all these other meanings, right? The practical meaning is always uninteresting to the rabbis, right? And they say, yes, of course, that, and, I embrace the things that I love, all right? I'm tender with them. They do that kind of stuff. They do that kind
We
of
kiss
stuff.
them as mezuzah too.
All right, do you want to practice again?
I think we got it. I think we
You
should go,
okay?
get the rest of the service when Hemi might.
Okay, great.
Might
So
be-
we're at the very end. We're lifting the Torah.
You get to do it.
Lewis has done it.
Oh,
Yeah, I that's why I told you I want the Torah to be, we seldomly roll her properly though. If you ever wanted to do it, this is not about strength. It requires some strength, but only if you're doing it not so well. It's just some simple science. You come and pick her off the table. Most people don't do it, but I would suggest you do it. You bring her like halfway off the table. Look, she's gonna fall all by herself.
Get your knees up.
I didn't do any, this is no strength at all to lift her like this and go like that.